everyone, my name is Messel. How are you today? So as we all know that managing a class could be a little challenging at times, and sometimes it's just very difficult to manage your students inside a classroom. But with the help of educational psychology, we're able to learn a lot of theories that could help us or that benefits us in and helping our students and in managing them inside the classroom. So today, I have 8 tips for teachers, an activity that will surely help you in managing your students inside a classroom. So the title of the activity is called Reflection. Why reflection? Because your student will be able to reflect upon the things that they'd like to do and the things that they wanted to do with your help, actually. So what I do is, before I go to class on my first day of class, is I make this whole bunch of questions, like, let's just say a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 10 questions. So your question could be personalized, such as, what was your greatest accomplishment of last year? Or what are the things that you want to go back to? Or perhaps it could be, what are your expectations in this class? Or what are your expectations about your teacher? And what are your study habits? Questions like this that will enable you to get to know your student. So what you have to do is, when your questionnaire is ready, you have to just print it out and bring enough copies on the first day of class, enough for the entire students of your class, of course. And then provide each copy of your questionnaires to your students, and then just instruct your student that they only have 10 minutes to finish the questions inside. And you also have to tell them that you don't have to worry because it is not graded. Therefore, there is no right and wrong answers in it. You just simply wanted them to get to know them. So that's the reason why you're asking them to answer those questions. So instruct them that you only give them 10 minutes. And with this 10 minutes, what I want you to do is to maximize your time. While your students are answering, I wanted you to just observe, their behavior, like how they answer, how they react to certain questions and stuff like that. So that's it. That's what you have to do first. Like, you have to hand down your questionnaires, prepare your questions, of course, and then provide a copy of your questionnaires to your students. And then after that, when the time is up, after 10 minutes, when your students is done answering, you have to collect the paper, of course, and then set that aside. Now, the next thing that you have to do is it is your time to interact with your student. Now, what I want you to do is to get your own copy of the questionnaire, like what I have here. So, you take the time in answering, of course, not all of the question, but some of it. Like, say, for example, you read, what was your greatest accomplishment of last year? And then you start answering, and this would eventually create a good interaction between you and your student. And that way, you're already building a very good rapport inside a classroom. Like, you're providing a very good vibes and a friendly relationship with your students. But just note the teachers, though, sometimes we get overly friendly to our students, that they get the vibes that, okay, I can just be very friendly with my teacher. But sometimes they cross the boundaries, So a little tip from me is that when you do the interaction with your students, you have to maintain that professionalism as well. What I'm trying to say is, do not overly be friendly and not to be overly strict on the other hand. So it's just like maintain a professional way of handling or interacting to your students. Okay, so pretty much that's it. After you finish the interaction, you probably end up your class for that specific day. Now, it does not end the activity there because it has to continue on the next day. So earlier in the video, I mentioned that you have to provide the copy of the questionnaires and they have to answer that. So what you have to do is, as a teacher, I think that is very, very beneficial for us and helpful, when you take the time and read your students' work. Like, say, for example, During the time that your students are answering, you bring home these questionnaires with you, and you just take the time to read it and then give comments. Of course, not to all the questions because there will be a whole of it and you don't have plenty of time for that. But at least take the time in reading their work and at least write 2 or 3 answers. Respond to their answers, like saying, "Oh wow, me too. I do that as well." Or like, "Yeah, I can help you with that," or something like that. And then on the next day, on the second day of the class, you will give this back to them. Like the questionnaires that you've had them answer the other day, you give it back on the second day. And when you give it back, this will give your students like a feeling that, all right, my teacher took the time and reading and commenting on a paper that is not even graded. So how much more if the paper is graded? So the student will have a sense of like belongingness inside the class. Now you've already connected with your students. So in that sense, you get to know them by the answers that they have provided to you, and they get to know you by interacting to them. And while building this great relationship between you and your student, you kind of like build up a student-centered relationship. So I think that it's very, very helpful for teachers to do. So like again, we make a lot of like things in our classes, but the best thing I think that we have to do at the beginning of the class is to set that tone that we can help our student achieve their goals academically. And when we have that connection with them, it is easier for them to interact with us and to inform us the things that they're having a hard time with and the things that they'd like to improve more. So I think that that's very helpful, and I hope that it helps you as well. And that's it. That's the activity. That's the reason why it's called reflection. I hope that the activity for today, I hope that you've learned something from today's activity, and that if you apply it in the near future, I hope that it worked for you as much as it worked for me too. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great day. Bye.